back to our podcast, Real Estate Agent Rehab. It's been way too long. This is a well overdue episode number 13, and we apologize for not being with you guys sooner.
We've been busy.
Yeah, we've been doing a few things.
But we're back.
As always, I'm Amir, LPOP broker for West Shores Realty.
And I'm Vance, Agency Vice President and Associate Broker.
And so today we're going to talk about going back to a pre-pandemic market. So I think our last episode was during COVID, during the pandemic, and we had to learn how to kind of manage through the pandemic. And
our last episode was we're back. We actually thought we were back. We left for another 6 or 7 months. So we're back now, though. And I think the craziest thing about it is nobody, we talked about coming back to this pre-pandemic, and we knew we were going to see a dip in the market. We knew interest rates were coming, but everybody's still walking around surprised by it.
Absolutely. I think because it happened so fast. So we went to interest rates going like 2 and 3%, then rates shot up to 6 and 7%. So it immediately shifted our market and how we do business, and I think a lot of people almost forgot how to do the business pre-pandemic, and so that's why we want to talk about this, because obviously we want all of the realtors everywhere, no matter where you're watching, to succeed and be successful, not just the ones that work here. And we want to share with you what we've been up to and then how we can help. And I think that's, a lot of people forgot that, and it's kind of like, going to the gym. Like, you haven't been to the gym for a while, and it's kind of hard to get back in the swing of things. And once you get back there, you start doing things, get into a routine, things become a lot more easy to do.
But when you stop doing it for 2 or 3 days, it's easy to stop doing it altogether. And that is kind of what happened.
Well, I think it's almost like 2 years.
But it's that same thing. And so what we did is we just kind of brainstormed over the 5 kind of basics that every agent should be really paying attention to.
I think so.
And working on in their own world. And so prospecting, marketing, negotiating, networking, and one that every broker has near and dear to them is getting back to the offices. So we're actually going to break these down. Amir and I are going to talk about the importance of each one and how they might fit into your business. If you have any questions or issues you want to talk about it afterwards, send us a message. Let's talk about it. Reach out to us. We're always here. All right. So Amir, prospecting.
Prospecting. I mean, that's the easiest one, right? And I don't think the more prospecting you do, the more business you get. Very simple solution. And I think, during the pandemic, the businesses kind of came to us. Like we went to an open house and 30 people showed up, or 100 people, depending on how hot the home was. And so prospecting was really easy because so many consumers and buyers were knocking at realtors' doors saying, "Hey, I got a pre-approval for 2.9 APR. Find me a place." So now that we don't see that anymore, and the rates are up, we're finding less and less clients out there that want to transact, less buyers and less sellers. So what do we do to get back there and find those people?
And a big thing that I heard for the past probably almost 5 years was real estate's cheap. You should buy it. And that's changed. You should still buy real estate, but now you have to buy it for other reasons. And this is where prospecting comes into what you and I always talk about, is sales skills. Why would I buy it? Why would I sell it now? And this is all part of prospecting. This making phone calls, of course, door knocking, which is great now, especially because we can actually do that now. But the actual finding the business and uncovering it and really digging in it's just a new world now. And we really got to start digging in and deciding how we're going to be effective prospectors. And that goes for each one of us. I think everybody has their own piece, but you got to kind of own it and you got to run with it.
And I think everybody may do 1 or 2 different types of prospecting better than others. So it's always good to do what you're good at and do a lot of it.
Work on your strengths.
So if you're really good at cold calling, then just cold call. If you're really good at door knocking, just door knock. Be the master at that type of prospecting, and ensure that you get in front of the most people as possible. Some people like to prospect through social media, where they're doing videos and they're doing sponsored ad and they're doing lead capture that way. We have agents here that's all they do. We have an agent that just does TikToks all day long, and they get plenty of leads just right through TikTok. So do what you're really good at, and you might want to ensure that you're touching on the other stuff like mailers and flyers and different things if you're farming a certain location. But do what you're good at and do a lot of it, because you're going to have to double down more than ever, and work harder than most agents now, because
Absolutely.
and it's funny, a lot of people are giving up now in the real estate industry, like, oh, this is too hard. You know, it was so much easier during COVID. Imagine that.
When we were going in, we thought that was going to be the hard part,
Mm-hmm.
and it really got. But no, you know what? I'm not going to say it got easy, because anybody I spoke to at that time was telling us how hard it was.
Yeah, it was hard for a different reason. Like,
Right.
there's not enough inventory. There was too many offers in the home. There was all these excuses why it was so difficult. And now it's like, well, there's not a lot of inventory, and the rates are high, and it's just really hard. Now I think it's extra hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Now it's hard.
I mean, the business in general is hard.
Now it's actually hard.
Yeah.
This is no joke. Now it's actually getting difficult. But this is where you can actually rise to the occasion, and you can actually beat out your competition. This is where you can actually outwork your competition, and it's up to you to do it. So the next thing was marketing. And the funny thing about marketing for the past 2 years, and you know what's crazy about this list that we're doing, is a lot of agents who are listening to this right now probably never saw the market pre-pandemic. And when I say pre-pandemic, like 4 years ago, we were still in that market where it was just rocking and rolling. And now agents are in this and they're like, whoa, you mean when I put a listing out, it's not going to sell right away? I got to market it? Yeah, but that's the fun of it.
Another component too is branding.
Yeah.
You know, branding yourself as an agency. You know, marketing a property, you know, obviously there's different ways to market a property, but the actual branding of yourself, you know, doing headshots, making sure that you have a good social presence, online presence, every channel set up, and you're posting content, ensuring that people can see that in that way, or if there's a certain area that you're farming, ensuring that you have the right marketing pieces and the right graphic artists doing stuff, because you have to look really professional these days. You can't just send out Mickey Mouse types of forms, letters, or postcards, or do a basic headshot with your cell phone, or do a selfie of that matter.
Right. I mean,
no one's going to take you seriously now. There's too much competition. There's brand new agents that come in and get all this professional photography done and all this great graphic work done, and they look like they've been in the business for 20 years.
Right.
So if you're a new agent and you don't have that on point, that branding component on point, you're going to definitely get overlooked when people Google you. So that's pretty much the easiest thing and the way to start, or rebrand yourself now that you may have more time because you're not out on a bunch of listing appointments.
And if you're an agent for the past 20 years, might be time to update your photo.
Yeah, I think you do one every 20 days, you know. But it is important.
I absolutely update my photo at least annually, because things change, all right? And you want a fresh look on all of your stuff, so people understand that you're still in the business, not that you were in the business 20 years ago and that's your photo. You know, way back when I was back on Long Island, there was a joke. There was a realtor in all the magazines, and it was half of his wedding photo.
Oh, really?
I swear to God.
He had a tux on.
Tuxedo, corsage, and he's like leaning in, and it was like right down the middle. And it was a joke of the industry.
Yeah.
And when you saw me, like, hey, when are you going to change your photo? Nah, I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
and he didn't even look like that. He was married for years. Don't do that to yourself. Why would you be the joke? Like, update your photos, make it look good, and have fun with it. You know, that's really the basic to it. And, you know, with marketing, you know, Amir, you and I dealt with this for the past couple of years. We couldn't even get our name out to tell people we had a listing without it already selling. And as a listing agent, you need time to get that information out there for people to see that you're listing, and not that it listed and it's gone and the new buyer wants to sign down. It's like, no, I need to leave that up for a couple of days, you know? And it was just happening so quickly that a lot of the marketing and the prospecting just became automatic to whoever was next in line.
Absolutely. And so now things are differently. So now it's professional photography on properties, videos, 3D tours, sending out postcards, mailers, door knocking, putting your sign out. Making sure it's maybe social media blasted, maybe doing sponsored ads for your events or your open houses, doing mega open house events, making sure that everybody can see, using every component of your potential listing or your deal as not only to advertise that listing, but to create some sort of marketing presence within a neighborhood or within a platform to show, okay, I have this listing, we're doing an event, so a separate event for that, separate sponsored ad for that, separate set of postcards for the open house, when it's an escrow, when it closed, so you can take each component of that sale and turn it into a different opportunity to get in front of an audience now to get more buyers and get more sellers to work with you.
It's a new marketing opportunity. It's a new prospecting strategy. You know, we preach just listed, just sold, in escrow, postcards. You know, we got to do these things, and it's not just once. You got to continue to do it, and you do it until it works, and then you look back and you say, okay, it took me X amount to get that. It's worth it. I'll do it again.
And it may seem like overwhelming to do, but once you start doing it, it just becomes automatic, and it's just like, you know, part of your process. Keep everything a part of your process. And like, we have an 18-step selling system that kind of breaks this all down at our brokerage, and you know, we try to utilize every opportunity on a listing to get in front of as many people as possible. So it's an ongoing thing, but in the end, you become the neighborhood expert. You become the guy that people call and go, I want postcards going out. I want the mega open house event. I want to ensure my property looks as great as they do in those photos. I want his photographer. I want his presence, his marketing and branding for my listing.
And make no mistake, people who are thinking about selling their house are looking at what other people's houses look like that are selling right now, and who's handling those sales.
Exactly. All right, so another thing that we have to sharpen our skills on, which is a very fun one, which I love, is negotiation. Negotiation is back, guys. So yeah, there isn't a lot of inventory, and in certain sections, in certain markets, there's still going to be that feeding frenzy out there just because people need housing in a certain area, whatever the case may be. But the majority of what's out there, there are areas that were not as desirable as other areas that are starting to pile up with some inventory. We're in LA County, so the outer areas of LA County, like San Bernardino, Riverside, and some of the outer areas are starting to pile up on inventory, which means that you can start negotiating a good deal. You can negotiate a good deal for your buyers now, right?
That said, we are seeing multiple offers on some homes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Now, where does that come from? House is dialed in. It's ready to go, right? You know,
renovated top to bottom.
Ready to go, turnkey, and it's priced reasonably. It's not priced aggressively. All right, the aggressive houses right now are sitting on the market and they're getting clobbered. Okay, but back to your point in negotiating, it is the greatest time right now to be buying or selling real estate that you can actually negotiate terms. All right, as a listing agent, you're not just saying, speak to the hand, send me your best offer, I don't want to talk to you. You can actually work with people and really create a good deal for everybody. And as a buyers, you have to be asking right now for repairs, right? Negotiating prices, possibly negotiating, you know, rent backs or lease backs or just
favorable terms, maybe even seller carrybacks. I'm seeing sellers that are open to seller carrybacks because the banks now have higher rates and maybe not as favorable terms for buyers, so sellers are open. If you see a listing that's been on the market for 30, 60, 90 days, you know that the seller really needs to sell. Most people who need to sell now because the way things are for them in their own personal financial situation or for whatever their motivation is, they have to sell for whatever reason. Divorce, death, relocation, they have to sell for whatever reason. And if their listing is sitting on the market because their agent mispriced it or mismarketed it or whatever the case may be, this is a prime opportunity for you to get your client a really good deal on the property.
Absolutely.
And most people now do not want to get rid of their 3% rate and sell. Right? The people that are selling do need to sell.
And that's the thing, you know, nobody's getting into the market to test it. They're getting in because they got to get out. And with that, there's a good opportunity for everybody. They should price it properly so they can move in a reasonable time. And, you know, a buyer should not come in and just start lambasting every sale and just lowballing everything because they have to sell. Work within reason and everybody gets out alive, so to speak. And in the negotiation process, if you haven't negotiated, talk to your broker, talk to us if you're within our brokerage. Let's talk about it because it is not a matter of something of you just jumping out there and jumping right in. There is a skill to it, and you need to be good at it.
Because a lot of agents just want to get to the deal because they want to get the commission, right? And their buyers, maybe first-time buyers, are not really savvy. with the marketplace, and they'll just accept whatever you tell them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you, because you actually your job as a realtor is to negotiate the best deal on their behalf and have their back. So take that opportunity to speak to somebody that has more experience than you, maybe at your brokerage, and find out how you can negotiate the best deal, and look at all the information. Ask the questions, listing agent, how long has it been in the market? Have you had any offers yet? What is your seller looking for as far as an offer and structure? Why are they selling? Find out the hot buttons. If they're like, yeah, we're selling because so-and-so died, or we had to relocate, whatever the case may be, they're motivated. They're not going to want to carry the property or carry 2 payments on a property for whatever reason. So find out information and use it to your advantage to negotiate the best deal, the best terms for your clients.
And the final piece, I recommend to all my agents and anybody listening to this, if you're about to get into a negotiation with another agent, talk to them. Don't text them. Don't email them. Have a conversation with them. Familiarize yourself with them and get on the same page. Work together. You're not working against each other. The two of you are working together to sell a home. And if you can get in that mind frame, the deal will happen. Okay, it's when you draw that line down the middle and you actually think a negotiation is a win and a lose. It's not. All right? It's an agreement between 2 parties to do business. Nobody won, nobody lost. They agreed to do business. And you want to really get to that stage that people feel confident, they know, and have all the information they need to make the appropriate decision, and you help them through the process, as opposed to just hammering it down and telling them this is the way it's going to be. Work with your clients, work with your agents, and you'll see a tremendous shift, really, in the way your business is run.
And your respect within the realtor community, real estate
Absolutely.
community. If you work with the agent and you make those phone calls, you build rapport. You have to build a rapport. You're selling yourself, your clients, your deal to this other agent. So take the time. Don't send out blind offers and shoot them a text, hey, offer in your inbox. No, call them up. Say, hey, you know what? My name's Amir with West Shores Realty, whatever your brokerage is. I want to introduce myself and let you know that my clients saw your client's home. We were very interested. We want to write an offer. And we'd like to find out, why your seller's selling, find out some more information about the property, and see how we can work together. I want us to take this deal home. I want to close this sale with you. How does that sound? Great.
One thing I ask every agent, how do we work together? And it throws everybody off. Because they're like, what do you mean work together? Work together. What do we need to do? What terms are you looking for? We bring that back to my buyer, let them know, and we'll negotiate something. We'll come back and we'll bring you an offer that I think will fit.
And whenever there's that win-win with another agent, you will always remember that agent and have a soft place in your heart, whether you're on the buyer side or listing side, and you come across them on another deal or another situation, like, oh, I know Joe, we go way back. We closed the sale back in 2019. We did a great deal together, and they're more likely to accept your client's offer, or you accept their offer on another deal. Absolutely. Because you know that the agent is professional and knows how to work well and can negotiate well and is reasonable and can get the deal done.
That's right. That's right. I have great friends in this business who I did deals with 10 years ago. From that one deal. I mean, we don't hang out every night, but when we see each other, we did that deal. Yeah. And it's because now I have other agents that I don't talk to, because we did that deal together. Exactly. All right, let's talk about another item. So number 4. This is networking, guys. This is could be a fun one. It could be a not so fun one, depending on how you are. I mean, believe it or not, I'm a broker to hundreds of agents, and I'm more of an introverted person. I don't necessarily like to go out. I spend my days talking to people all day long. When I get home, I want to crawl into my home, into my bed, and just not talk to anybody. So you might be a better networker than most. You may be more social than others. Use that to your advantage. Absolutely.
Right?
There's so many opportunities right now to get out and talk with people and network. Just your local chambers, school functions. People are back in school. These things got shut down.
Religious stuff, churches, whatever you're into as far as religious. Going out in the community. Another thing is there are a lot of your communities have events, special events, fairs, different things. You can post up a booth. You can just go and wear your real estate brokerage t-shirt, baseball cap, name badge, another name badge. Just walk around the community and go do your daily errands with your name badge, and you will bump into people at the mall. Be that person that says, hey, hello, how's it going? Engage with people and you see them, because you never know who you're going to meet. You know, we had an agent here that was wearing their name badge, walked into a bank just to cash one of their commission checks, and somebody walking through the bank saw the name badge and said, hey, you're a realtor? And they said, yeah. I said, hey, you know what? I want to sell my home down the street for $1.8 million, and end up getting that listing and end up doubling that listing and making almost $100,000 on one sale, because they wore their name badge, because they're open to talking to people, talking to strangers in the street. So networking works.
You don't know as many people that you know that will do business with you as you do. So go find them.
If there's any sort of function, go to a function. Go if your significant other's got a party or an event at work, make sure you go there. Make sure you introduce yourself. Let everybody know what you do, and that's why we do that on social media. We do that through prospecting, through going on door knocking and all that stuff. We just want more people to know what we do, so that maybe at some point they're ready to transact, whether it's now or later. And if we get their information, we put them into a CRM and we follow up with them, right?
Yep. The key to networking today is finding your market within today's market. You know, high interest rates, prices are falling, whatever story you want to tell yourself or hear, whatever. You have to find your market within that market. So again, it's cheap, you should buy one. It's who's looking and how do I get you to work with me? Okay, and finding your market. Think about that.
Exactly.
And the last one.
All right. Getting back to the offices. We're so used to not going to the offices from the pandemic, right? We were talking about this earlier, and it's like the offices act as represent so many different things for realtors, and some people just cringe thinking having to drive somewhere to the office. But there's so many different things that actually happen within the office that you don't necessarily realize. You may just think, oh, I'm just going to go there and maybe not get any work done, or maybe bump into somebody, or oh, my manager's going to be there bugging me to say, hey, when are you going to do a deal again? You know, things like that. But they really act as little networking hubs, quiet spaces, places, educational spaces where you can learn more of your trade and, make it feel like you're suiting up and going to work. Because so many people feel like this isn't work sometimes, right? When it actually is work.
And you say network. I also use the word collaboration. Right? There's no better place to go than your office and collaborate with other agents and find out what they're doing. Okay, who sold a house last month? What did they do? How did they do it? Right? If one person in your office is doing it, you can do it. So finding out what people are doing and modeling that and seeing what others are doing right now to sell houses. Look, this year there will be agents that had their best year ever.
And the agents that are having success are probably in the office. They probably rent an office space or have a dedicated office there, and are the ones that are suiting up and showing up and go to a place to do business. I don't know how many people can actually work from home. When I'm at home, there's too many distractions between, kids, fridge, TV, games, whatever is going on, hobbies and different things that are at the house. It's hard for me to work at home, so I have to go to the office every single day to get any work done. I just don't feel right working at home from a laptop. I have to go in, sit down, and get everything work in a certain way.
I have to leave because I mess up my wife's chi at the house. So she's like, you have to get out. But
take advantage of these spaces. Take advantage of it. If you're in an office that has an office, go use it. Go be there. You never know what's going to happen. You might bump into an agent that says, hey, you know what? I need help with an open house. Or you might find somebody on a team that you can team up with, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe there's nobody in your office. Maybe your offices are dead. So be that person to invite people out. Exactly. Maybe you have a big private office. Or maybe buddy up with the manager or whoever's supervising the office up there, and get some information from them, and be the only agent there that gets that attention, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Maybe the manager has some listings like, hey, you know what? You're always here every day. I know you want to work hard. Here, why don't you come with me on this listing appointment, or come to me and have lunch? You can find the best mentors and the best. What's the word I'm looking for? When you surround yourself by people that are working hard, guess what's going to happen? Or they're successful, you're going to be successful.
Your environment. You up your environment. You are the product of the 5 people you surround yourself with. There it is. And, you know, get into the offices, see what agents are doing, and do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the getting into an office that's empty with only a manager there. Real quick, I just did that class last week. Showed up my first day to a Zoom class, 7 days long. Supposed to have 5 people in the class, only 2 people are there. Me and the instructor. So the instructor says, we can reschedule this, or we can just do it together. And I said, it's me and you, let's do this. And I had a 7-day one-on-one class as opposed to being in a classroom with 7 people. And I felt that took me light years ahead of where I should be. So if an agent's walking in and the only person in there is a manager, that's a good thing. All right? And more people will show up. You know, be the leader. Be the leader of the office, show up, run it, take ownership of it. You know, be there like it's yours. Right? If there's papers on the floor, pick them up, take care of your office. Because when you bring your clients in, you got something to be proud of.
And it gives you a good space to create content. If there's nobody in the office and you want to start doing videos or how-to videos or videos about the market for your social media, and then you have a space all to yourself to do those things, and people will start seeing that you do it, and then, you know, more people want to show up and be just like you.
Yeah.
So the offices are there, so get back into those offices because they're there for a reason. And you know, hopefully you guys take this advice. I mean, these are just 5 different ways to kind of get back to that pre-pandemic market. You know, the prospecting, marketing, negotiation network, and obviously getting back to the market. There are other things that we could talk about and share about. Maybe you have some more ideas about what we could share and talk about on other podcasts. And if you do, feel free to leave a question or a comment in the chat section or in the comment section on any one of these platforms. But I think these are the top 5 reasons.
Absolutely.
100%, and getting back to the pre-pandemic market. So don't waste time. This is not a time to waste time. We don't have time. Time's not on our side right now. So you need to roll up your sleeves right away.
You gotta do it now.
And get to work and make sure you don't miss out on those opportunities, because this is the time where people are starting to make moves. They're starting to think about where I'm going to go. Kids are going to be out of school in a couple months. Time is flying by so quickly. And if you don't jump on that fast moving train, it's just going to run right past you, and you're going to be left behind, and you'll watch your colleagues, your neighbors, your friends, and everybody else work with other realtors, and you're going to be like, that could have been me.
Yep.
And that's the worst feeling in the world.
So that said, I think what we need to do next podcast is the sometime, part-time, full-time agent.
Okay, we can talk about that. That's the big topic that class that we teach on. So stay tuned. Next couple weeks, I would say we'll throw another episode out. But please like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you can share this with your friends or colleagues. And we're just here to help. Again, my name is Amir Al-Kayat, broker for West Shores Realty, and
Vance Mizzi, West Shores Realty Associate Broker and Vice President. If there's anything we can do for you, reach out to us. Let's talk about your business. And even more so, if you're not able to call us direct, stay in touch, follow us, and please comment. Let us know what you think.
have a good one.
Take care.